Now, interestingly, within a millisecond's time, something shows that's not supposed to show, and it shows something rather curious. Right now, the numbers actually match, as you can see here, because this one, again, updates 1 second after this one. This is raw data here, folks. Check this out. See how it's changed, right? This one here hasn't changed because it hasn't been a second. It was only a few milliseconds. Notice the number went up here for Andy, 674508. And by the way, I have a lot of really interesting stuff to cover in this video, so this isn't it, trust me, a lot. Things that nobody else has even covered. Let me just show you this though first. This has went up 560 if you compare it to this number down here. This number went down 560 compared to this number down here. So this was a number a few milliseconds ago, and it just became this. So literally what happened was this guy, Matt, lost 560. This guy, Andy, gained 560 at the exact same time. Now, obviously, you can't lose numbers when it comes to things like this. And obviously, if you're losing the exact same amount that another person's gaining on the other side, clearly someone's swapping them. It isn't rocket science.
So how can I be perfect, Lord? The word you gave I needed. You said perfection isn't found in you. Your righteousness is Jesus. I pray this song will do exactly what it's made to do. Show people your love for us is infinite and faithful too. I pray this song goes way beyond a song of praise to you, but shows you that I love you and I'm thankful too. I pray
this
you
is
do.
my heart's cry. Yeah. I wanna live so you can be glorified. And every single thing that I do, let my life be pleasing to you.
What up, everybody? Greetings and blessings to you all. So I'm making a video today to examine some of these voter fraud allegations. I think it's really important to look into this with an unbiased, I guess, mindset. Sometimes it's hard to do that with the media in your face, always pushing a certain agenda all the time. They're always on the same. They've been like that for years already. So, you know, I don't really watch the media, but of course I see every now and then, I see little things here and there. And it's just the same thing, man. It's the same old rhetoric, same thing. So I feel it's important for us to independently investigate things, you know, and to go to other sources to get information. Because you're not gonna, if you only get your information from the media, that's all bad, man. You know, I'm sorry to say, but they're creating zombies, man. They're creating zombies. They're programming people in a certain way for a specific reason. You may not see it yet, but to many of us, it's clear as day what's going on. So that's why I felt the importance to make this video. We're going to talk about, you know, we're going to dive into some significant things. So the claims about the illegal or the fraud, you know, is there any merit to any of that, you know? Because the media, even social media, they when someone posts something about anything like that, voter fraud, everywhere, Twitter, Facebook, everywhere, Instagram, they put this thing under it where it says that these things have been found to be untrue or something like that. And like, think about that. Did these social media platforms already independently investigate each and every one of these cases? There's cases in the court right now. The court's got to sort a lot of this stuff out. Some of this stuff has been thrown out, but some of this hasn't. And there's a reason for that. And we're going to get to some of these things right now. But in the media, you'll only hear, oh, there's nothing there. It's all just Trump trying to stay and trying to create controversy. So we got to examine some of this independent from what the media says. Okay, so that's what we're going to do. One of the reasons it's important to talk about this too, because let's say they find, what do you call it? Let's say they do find something that warrants a further investigation, and then you know, it turns out to be a things work in his favor, and then he stays in office. Like, imagine what that would do. Imagine what that would do to the country. So, or another scenario. What if he doesn't give up his office as his post as commander-in-chief? What if he doesn't do that? What's gonna happen? Isn't that gonna cause a lot of chaos? So that's why it's important to talk about some of these things. I'm not saying it's gonna happen. I hope it doesn't happen, because I know what you know. It'll be all bad, man. If we're headed for civil war, man, things are gonna change, man. That's gonna impose martial law. It's gonna impose all kinds of things, you know, that people ain't ready for. A lot of people ain't ready for it, man. They just want to party. They just want to have fun and be happy. And I'm not against enjoying life, man, enjoying our families and doing things together. But some people, that's all they care about, and they don't want to even, if there's any danger up ahead, they don't even want to be told about it. Like, they don't even want to be warned, or they think it's fake, you know. So that's why I make these videos, man, to just go, you know, and examine the evidence, man. We gotta sometimes do that. So before we do that, I want to give one more scenario, okay? I always like to look at things outside of the box and try to look at it from both angles. What if the powers that be, right? What if they planned something like this? What if they planned for Biden to be, you know, so-called president-elect, or he got the majority vote, or the electoral college? He's supposed to be president. Everybody's thinking that in their mind, and then everything just flips and it goes back to Trump. Okay, what if they planned that to destroy this country, or to divide this country even further, so they can implement their agenda? You know, what that's a scenario we have to look at. You know, it's not about conspiracy theory. It's about thinking. Okay, we gotta think outside the box, man. Our government has been known to lie to us. I can present all kinds of different things where they openly, like, were deceiving the public. And a lot of these things that came out, you know what I mean? If you do your research, you'll see, you know, there's so much that the government has done in the past to keep from the public, man. So anyhow, we're gonna start with the clip, and this clip is from the day after the election. Okay, the day after the election, this guy made this video, and he, you know, well, let's check out the clip.
See, this is actually MI. Look at this. Overnight, folks. Look at this. The Prez, his number stays the exact same. The very next minute, look who has 200,000 more added out of nowhere. And that's not the only thing. There's actually a lot of this. Why it seems like everything that's been happening this year has been all about this day yesterday. All about it. Making sure he doesn't get back in. That's what it seems like to me. You're hearing from the celebrities, Gwyneth Paltrow. You hear from all these celebrities saying who you should pick. You know, even Lady Gaga wearing some camel pants, right? She's got a big truck. She's American. You know, telling you to choose Joe, right? It just seems like everything has been tailored to get Joe in. It's what it seems like. And then because they couldn't get it done that route, they have to go this route. Sort of like the plan B, maybe. Oh, we can't just get him in from popularity. Let's go this route. And of course, because of these websites, the reason why I speak the way I do, of course, is because then they can notice who's saying what and then decide which videos can be seen, all that kind of stuff as well, right? Well, look at this. Check this out. 2 different places, MI and also WI. If you zoom in, oh, that's kind of weird. 200,000 out of nowhere. The Prez gets 0. Joe gets 200,000. We're talking 2 different places, MI and WI. Like I said, look at these tweets. Look at this graph. Milwaukee was supposed to report in at 1 a.m. Then was delayed to 2 p.m. or 2 a.m. actually meant, and then 3 a.m. 3:30 a.m. All of a sudden, out of nowhere, 4.1 lead. Folks, this is a big thing, all right? We're talking about the next 4 years, and honestly, what they want to do, according to some of the stuff I've read, is definitely not peaches and cream and fun, okay? I'm telling you, we really need actually to have the press get back in with all the stuff that they have planned. I've already covered this on other videos. Like I said, they want to have a third also. I mean, they have this stuff planned out, folks. This was something that was a committee member in Canada put out talking about what they want to do. They want to make it to where you can't even leave, as you would say, your city. They want you to stay there. They want to have points where everyone is checked, all this kind of stuff. They want you to get a new shiny passport, not the kind you already have, a different kind, okay? And they have another thing where they're expecting everybody to be in debt because they're not able to work, and just all these bills are piling up, and they have a solution for that as well, where they get rid of your debt forgiveness. In turn, you own no property anymore, and also some other things. You get the passport. I went over all this stuff, okay? They have a reason why they're going this direction. They want to get you into a certain place, these rich people at the top, okay? They want something a certain way. This is how they're trying to go about it. Yeah, this is one of them right here. What was this one? Yeah, it was 138,339 that were added in all at once, not one for the press, at the exact same moment.
So you see how votes, man, bunch of votes, 200,000, man, mysteriously within like a second of time, boom, they go from one candidate to another. You know what I'm saying? That's something that needs to be looked at, man. Like they say they got this Dominion software and that there's glitches, or that it was set up to kind of mess things up. Like I don't know, man. I don't know nothing about that. But is it possible? Yeah, it is, man. It's very possible. And we just seen some examples. Some of this stuff happened right there, like on live TV. And most people will not catch it unless someone's recording it and then they play it back, and then they can catch things like that, like this guy did. But for the most part, nobody's gonna catch stuff like that. They'll just think, oh, that was just some mistake. They just fixed it, you know, and just keep going, you know, keep living life. But another thing, this guy, you know, he kind of spoke with like in code because of these algorithms. They have these algorithms where they're censoring videos and they're taking them down. So that's why the guy talks like that. So these were just some, you know, examples. One thing that's interesting though is, remember when Trump got elected? Remember they were saying that there was all this Russia collusion or whatever, that there was things going on that affected the outcome of the election. That was all over the news, man. It was everywhere. But there was really no proof, okay? Now flip the tables. 4 years later, look at the media. For the most part, they're not really reporting about voter fraud, and if they are, they're always saying dogmatically, matter of factly, like there's no merit to none of it, as if these media outlets have independently just investigated every single claim, every single case. Because if there's even one or two cases that happened, that's enough, you know, to say. But you know, if it can affect the outcome of the election, that's enough to do a recount or to whatever needs to be done. Okay, so I just wanted to make that point that out, man, because how come they're not covering that? Like, how come they don't have the same energy they did with the whole Russia thing with this now, with the Trump? And it shows why, because they're biased. They're biased, and they definitely, you can see what side they lean towards. You know what I'm saying? And that's not professional journalism, man. Journalism used to be about getting the real story, no matter what it is. You just want the truth. That's real journalism. And there's a lot of good independent journalists out there, man. Right here on YouTube, there's so many people that do a good job, man. And that's actually what I want to do. I want to pass on some of that. Whatever I learn independently from the narrative of the mainstream media. I wanna pass on what the truth is, whether I agree with it or not. I just, I think we deserve to know what that is, man. So the evidence always has to be, examined. You know, there's a lot going on in the courts right now, and some of these cases, there's some pretty serious things. We're gonna get into some of that. Like I said, the mainstream media, they'll say that there's no merit to it, but is it the truth? Is that really true? I don't believe it is. So let's look at a few things. Look at this article from Newsmax, and it says Giuliani massive fraud used to steal election from Trump. So let's read some of this. Rudy Giuliani and other lawyers leading President Donald Trump's legal efforts to win re-election on Thursday forcefully made the case of widespread voter fraud on behalf of Democrat Joe Biden. What I'm describing to you is massive fraud, Giuliani said. As Giuliani and other Trump lawyers outlined their claims, the president, apparently watching the televised proceedings, took to Twitter to applaud them for laying out an open and shut case of voter fraud. The allegations ranged from complaints that Republican observers weren't allowed to observe vote counting in Philadelphia and Detroit, to a claim by Trump lawyer Sidney Powell that U.S. voting machines made by Dominion Voting Systems, Inc. used software made in Venezuela at the direction of Hugo Chavez. So see, there's a Dominion, these systems that we're dealing with the votes, and that's a whole. I'm not gonna get into all that. I did research and read up on a lot of it, but I don't know, man. I can't really say for sure that it's true or not, but that's one of the issues. So then I recently got an email with this ballot, or not a ballot, what do you call it? A petition. It's a petition to sign. So let's just read a little bit of it. Thousands of uncounted ballots were found in Georgia, mostly for President Trump. Thousands of legal voters who faced being disenfranchised. Irregularities have been found in Pennsylvania, Michigan, Wisconsin, and Nevada. We will not stop fighting until every single legal vote is counted. Your right to vote is the foundation of our constitutional republic. The ACLJ has been defending that right for decades, filing in the landmark Bush versus Gore Supreme Court case. And this organization is called the ACLG, the American Center for Law and Justice. All right, so let's keep reading. But time is critical. We only have until December 14th, 2020, when the Electoral College meets. That's important. The Electoral College still has to meet, and they have to fully decide, okay? So it's not really set in stone yet. So it says, we must be ready to act quickly as new lawsuits are filed daily. The Constitution hangs in the balance. Our legal team has already compiled a substantial legal memo on constitutional options, and we're prepared to defend the Constitution if necessary at the Supreme Court. Take urgent action with us now. So they wanted me to sign this petition. Actually, I read this backwards. This was the one that went before that. It says, the clearest sign of a healthy democracy is the right of its citizens to legally challenge its decisions in an independent court proceeding. But as ACLJ Special Advisor Rick Grenell points out, biased media personalities and academic scholars are demanding an end to the legal challenges which are being filed to ensure election integrity. Okay, so here's a few things from their website. It says, now more than ever, states face questions regarding election integrity, election security, and the possibility of election fraud. So questions justifiably create a crisis of legitimacy for the government. State legislators, prosecutors, citizens, and if necessary, the federal government must aggressively engage in a root and branch effort to eliminate cases of outright fraud, which historically have included instances of buying votes, the fraudulent use of absentee ballots, individuals voting. Now let's check out this that came out on November 4th. All right, this was a day after the election. and it says it's been verified by the Department of Homeland Security. So let's read. DHS announces, that's Department of Homeland Security, announces election audit sting after contentious U.S. election sparks confusion and outrage from election skeptics. In the stunning turn of events, the Department of Homeland Security announced that there was a federal government sting planned and executed for this election. It was established that this was intentional to determine the margin of fraud in the election system. With confusion in the election results as it is, the amount of fraud identifiers found in this sting is staggering. More than 14 million ballots have been reviewed nationwide for the for the Department of Homeland Security's new election countermeasure. As of 7 p.m. Eastern, 80% of the ballots have failed ballot integrity checks under this measure. A debrief of the election countermeasure from the Department of Homeland Security can be found below. The highest frequency of these non-marked ballots is coming from Arizona and Michigan, where over 48% of counted ballots did not contain this watermark. Okay, they're saying that there was a watermark. We're going to get into that right now. These votes are overwhelmingly supportive of Democratic candidate Joseph Biden. This election countermeasure was not endorsed or briefed with President Trump or candidate Biden. This was a background audit that has been planned since as early as May of 2018. In this scenario, it is too certain to tell what the results of this audit will tell us to do. So they're saying that there's this watermark. Okay, I'm gonna play some videos right now. And if this thing with the watermark is true, then that should be the deciding factor in these courts. The watermark thing is crucial. There's reports that they didn't want some of this out. They didn't want it out in the public until the courts dealt with it. So we'll see. But check out this little clip of a woman that she has her strip, I guess, from the voting thing. I don't really know what it is, but she did this little experiment with some type of scope, and you can clearly see like some watermarks. Okay, actually, I'm gonna play two videos. The second one, it's about it's gonna be connected. It's about a former United States Department of State's official speaking about what's going on according, to his insider knowledge. So he seems pretty credible, man. This guy, his name is Steve Pieczenik. I don't know how you pronounce it. He served under the presidential administrations of Carter, Jimmy Carter, Gerald Ford, Ronald Reagan, and George Bush Sr. So he's pretty credible, man. That right there alone says he has some ties into these circles. Okay, so he was a deputy assistant secretary for all these presidents. So let's check out these videos.
Okay, I saw online on social media that a watermark may have been used on the official ballots. So I have a gem scope. It's a 10 times magnification, and this is my ballot strip, right? So I'm gonna go ahead and put the camera onto the strip, and we'll see what we see. It's a little blurry. I'm gonna go ahead and push it up. Oh dear. I think there is. Okay, so from what I read, it's supposed to be little dots. It's supposed to be little dots from the printer. That looks like little dots to me. Are you guys seeing this? What do you guys think? Is this the watermark?
This is really a sting operation. Contrary to what everybody else said, Trump knew this was happening. Eric knew this was happening and warned the public. I knew this was happening. However, I could not say anything about it. What happened was we watermarked every ballot with what's called the QFS blockchain encryption code. In other words, we know pretty well where every ballot is, where it went, and who has it. So this is not a stolen election. On the contrary, we reversed the entire game of war along the lines of Sun Tzu, the art of war. and Trump was brilliant and still is brilliant at it. The reason he hasn't been seen, and Alex correctly said, oh, I haven't seen him in several days. Well, in the art of the war, you pull back, allow your enemy to make all the mistakes that they are making, manipulate the situation, expose them, and then come in for the final killing. And that's what's happening now. None of this was unexpected. All of this was expected. All of this is part of the sting operation we're running. And let me tell you that 48 hours ago, not only did we put markers on those ballots, but I can say now, with the permission of people in the intelligence community and elsewhere, that we have sent out thousands and thousands of National Guards to 12 different states, Washington, Delaware, Texas, Arizona, Alabama, and everywhere. So now you have to consider and rethink what this is really about. The genius of Trump is that he is able to pull back at any point and manipulate the opponent without the opponent ever realizing. He has said repeatedly, hashtag steal the vote. That's exactly what he has said for months. Then he made a very clear implication. He said, I will use common sense or my intelligence, i.e., both literal and figurative intelligence. And those of us in the intelligence community, be it who they are, again, what I said in 2016, when we exposed Hillary Clinton, we now exposed, and it was Trump who initiated this, Biden family. Hunter Biden, Joe Biden, Jill Biden, Jim Biden, Frank, the whole family was played right into a game where they were convicted, and you're seeing what's happening now. What was not announced was that we watermarked all the ballots with what I said at QFS blockchain, which is a very hard encryption code to break. And the second thing is we sent, probably 20,000 or more National Guards 48 hours ago. None of it was reported, and I thank the press for not reporting it and others. So what in fact is happening is you're seeing a sophisticated sting operation that was initiated by Trump.
So this guy calls it a QFS blockchain encryption code, okay? I looked into some of that. And another thing, some of you guys know about these fact checkers, right? A lot of these fact checker sites, if they're trying to discredit something, rest assured, not all the time, but a big majority of the time, there's something to it. Whatever they're trying to debunk, you need to go outside of these fact checker sites, because these fact checker sites are there. They put these sites there to debunk, to remove anything that goes against the official narrative that comes out in the news, whatever. Anything independent of that, we're in a time right now where they don't want none of that no more. They're pushing all that to the side, and it only has to be a specific. And most of the world or the country, they're gonna fall for it. They're gonna fall for it because they're being programmed only by one specific source. Okay, so we're gonna look at one more video, and this guy's talking about also about cyber security. So let's check this out.
They don't know anything. They don't know anything. They have no factual knowledge. And they're all saying the same thing. There's no evidence of widespread voter fraud. Yes, there is. We have videotapes. We have videotapes of the people counting the ballots behaving totally illegally. And we do know that there was no reason to stop the counting in Michigan, Wisconsin, Pennsylvania, Georgia, and North Carolina. And, Trump was comfortably ahead in all those states. And then suddenly, massive numbers of mail-in ballots were dumped past the deadline, and not one Republican has been allowed to examine those ballots. And if you look at the count, the count was consistent until these mail-in ballot dumps, and then suddenly, whoosh! Now Joe Biden is going to win all these states. So, you can claim that none of this is happening, and they claim that there's no evidence, but just you and I can see the evidence. And the press says since Trump hasn't given them the evidence, it doesn't exist. Why would Trump give the press the evidence? Why would Trump give whoever did this the evidence? Now, the CISA, I've learned that they call themselves CISA. So I'm going to call them CISA, the Cybersecurity Infrastructure Security Agency. CISA did say on a PDF talking about mail-in ballot security, they said public-private technological solutions have been developed for preventing fraud by mail-in ballots. Again, they are very tight-lipped about how they would track, how they would know, how they would learn that domestic mail-in ballot fraud, voter fraud, had been committed.
So here's a question: is there any merit to any of this? Like, is there anything that can be looked at that there might be something to it? And if there is, what's gonna happen? What's gonna happen? These are things we have to think about and prepare, because I don't think people are prepared for. If there's a crazy turn of events, I don't think people are prepared for what can come from that. I hope, like I said, I hope it doesn't. I'm not here trying to predict nothing. I ain't no prophet. I ain't none of that. But I'm putting this stuff out there so that some of us can think at least, man. Not all of you are gonna really care about any of this, but some of you, you're gonna really start thinking about this. Because I'm gonna make a video, and my next video is gonna have to do with the vaccine, the vaccinations. I'm working on that too. And all this goes hand in hand, man. We might just be coming up to a place in this country, to a time in this country where things just won't ever be the same, man. So I personally, my opinion, I believe that that's what's gonna happen. I believe they're trying to destroy the way of living. America is the leader of the free world, man, and there's no way to really implement any real type of control as long as America stays the way it is. So I believe they're trying to destroy that, and I do believe it's beyond us. Only God can intervene and do something, But I believe God's gonna allow that. But that's a whole nother topic. So it can lead to civil war, man. I like I say, I really hope not, but it can lead to civil war, and I don't think any of us want to see that, man. I don't think any of us want to really see that, especially with this whole vaccine, and they got all these places where a lot of these schools are empty. I'm hearing that they can even use some of these schools. A lot of these things that are closed down, they can use those as places to even have people, man. And you never know. So I'll leave you guys with that to think about. The Great Reset. Look it up. They're talking about a Great Reset. A lot of these leaders. I'm gonna do a video on that. Probably I'm gonna probably go live. I don't know, maybe tomorrow or tonight, where there's this guy that they're pushing this Great Reset thing, and in order for that to happen, America can't continue to stand the way it's been. So I believe that there's a big change coming, but God bless us all, man. The Lord's with us. those of us who are believers, those who ain't, I would encourage you to think about your eternal destination and think about what do you want to trust in. COVID, you can see by COVID that you don't know what the future holds. And if you can't trust in God and you have to trust in anything other than Him, you're not headed for a good place, man. So with that being said, God bless you guys.
For ourselves and for future generations, a new world order.
It is a big idea, a new world order.
Phrase that I often use myself, that we needed a new world order.
And hasn't been used since, and that is a new world order.
The emergence of a new international order.
The emergence of a new international order.
The beginning of a new international order.
Let us reorder this world around us.
Overall strategy for America. A new world order can be created.
And a new world order.
There's a need for a new world order.
A new order. In conclusion, ladies and gentlemen, a new world is emerging.
President Obama and British Prime Minister Gordon today calling for a new world order to tackle our global economic crisis.
The affirmative task we have now is to actually create a new world order.